All right, guys, what is going on? Game day is finally here. It's early in the morning right now, but we're still fired up. I know we're not at a tailgate or anything like that, but got my Rise and Grind mug here, baby. Let's get after it. It is the game day pregame show, brand new this year. The way we're doing this, we've always done this on Facebook Live, but now we're spreading the love a little bit and fully produced. Thanks to Matt Van Winkle for helping us get all these things going. And of course, we are here presented each and every day, game day that is, by the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Men's Center. I actually was texting with the ladies the other day. I'm going to be going in to get the ever important flu shot here before too long, and I would encourage you to do so too. Be a man, go to the doctor, get those flu shots. They are more important this year than ever. One more swig of coffee. I remind you, coming up at 8 o'clock on 1460 KXNO and 106.3 FM, it'll be Jared Stansberry and Jeff Woody with the Iowa Pork Powered Tailgate Show at halftime across all of our social media platforms. Former Iowa State quarterback Brett Meyer will join me, and it'll be interactive. You guys can ask us questions, give us your comments. Then coming up in the post game, Rob Gray, Jared Stansberry today from Trice Stadium. Everything post game, injury updates. What did Matt Campbell have to say afterwards? This is the new game day version of Cyclone Fanatic. We want to be everywhere, especially in a season where so many of you are staying at home because you have to, right? You have to. And we want to be here to enhance that experience for all of you. And it starts here with the game day show. Of course, we're presented by our friends at the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Men's Center. Most of the time, I'm going to kind of preview the day in college football. Let Jeff and Jared do most of the Iowa State stuff. But we haven't seen this team yet. There's not that many games today. I want to start and really just dive into the Iowa State Cyclones. So I got 5 things that I'm going to watch for specifically in today's season opener with Louisiana coming to town. This team won 11 games last year, picked by many to win the Sun Belt. It's a very good football team that's coming into Ames today. But let's focus on the Cyclones because well, that's what we've been waiting all summer to see. And the first thing I'm going to be watching for really is the defensive line. Now, I know I'm not the sexiest thing here to go with the defensive line first, but if you guys have listened to my commentary over the years, you know that there's no favorite position for me than the big guys up front. Why is that? Well, it's because for so many years, I watched Iowa State have really bad defensive linemen, and I'm excited this year. I think they can go legitimately 3 deep in many spots. I want to see Will McDonald. How has he progressed? There's so much upside with him. I think he's an NFL guy. We started to see glimpses of that at the end of last year. What does he look like? I think Zach Peterson is a guy who none of us really know his full potential. Inyi Uwazurike on the inside. Isaiah Lee had one of the great unheralded games in Cyclone football history, I believe, 2 years ago when Baylor was in town. West Virginia was in town, and Ray Lima was out. And we put there's a true freshman, Isaiah Lee, on the inside to replace Ray Lima. Couldn't even tell. He basically took last year off to redshirt and to get stronger, and now I want to see what that looks like. But the guy I'm, most wanting to watch is Jaquan Bailey, the 5th-year senior now, coming off of the injury last year. I've heard he had an awesome offseason. Not only an offseason, but time to sit and learn last year during the year. Time to sit and watch film. Really mature as a football player. I'm all in on this defensive line. I think it's the best defensive front in the entire Big 12, and I want to see domination today out of that group. Likewise, on the other side of the football, what's the offensive line look like? Again, not a sexy thing to look at, but I think if you piece together this Iowa State depth chart, if we look at it and say, what are our biggest concerns about the Cyclones this year? I think anybody who follows this program would say the offensive line. I don't even know what the starting 5's going to look like today. So, and does that even matter? Because if Iowa State's going to take that next step as an offensive line, they got to be better than 1 deep. They got to be strong 2 deep. And you would think that'll get moved around quite a bit today. Offensive line, we're going to have a close eye on you. Number 3 is Xavier Hutchinson, the JUCO wide receiver who came in the middle of last academic year. I don't say this lightly. I hate hyping up JUCOs. I hate hyping up newcomers in general because it usually makes you look foolish at the end of the day. I don't think that's going to be the case with Xavier Hutchinson. This was a big key. A couple of weeks ago, Matt Campbell made him available to the media. And I'm sitting there thinking, Matt Campbell, what a JUCO, talk to the media over Zoom. That doesn't happen, folks. That is a sign. That is a reward. Xavier Hutchinson is a guy that Matt Campbell trusts. He will be in the starting lineup today, and I'm hearing big things. Remember, he chose Iowa State over Oklahoma and Nebraska. This is a big-time prospect, and I can't wait to watch him play for the Cyclones today. Number 4, a bit of a somber one. It's Trice Stadium without fans. Now, there are going to be some people. The Spirit Squad's going to be there. You're going to have parents, and you're going to have parents of the Louisiana Ragin' Cajun athletes. So it's not going to be completely empty, but it will be a bit somber, right? I think Iowa State has really done well over the years. I used to be highly critical of the game day experience inside the stadium. Can't say that anymore. I think it's top notch. I think Iowa State has a top 25 home field advantage in all of college football. And how is that mitigated today without fans, or is it? I assume it will be to some extent, but what are they going to pipe in a crowd? Those type of things. We're all kind of going through this together for the first time, and I'm going to be watching from home too, guys. I'm not going to Trice Stadium today. I'm living this just like you guys are. So I'll be really intent to see on just what that overall experience is like and how they can build on it for the rest of the year. God forbid fans aren't able to attend when Oklahoma comes to town the first week of October. All right, and number 5, and this is back to football. How do the Cyclones come out of the gate today? This is a question for every team in all of college football right now, in my opinion. It's been an offseason unlike any other. They didn't have spring football. Camp was weird. You've had guys in and out of the program due to COVID and whatnot. Right now, Iowa State aced its COVID test, so it should be at full strength today, so that shouldn't be a problem. But what's the one critique people give Matt Campbell right now, 5 years in? Teams they start off a little slow, right, to start the season. And is that the case today? I can tell you if Iowa State shows up and plays the way it did against Northern Iowa last year, it'll lose today. Cyclones will lose to this Louisiana team. They've got to come out strong. I want to see Iowa State thump this team early. Louisiana legitimately believes it can run the table this year, and they've got legitimate reasons to think that. 3 losses last year, 2 of them to a top 25 Appalachian State team and also to an SEC program. So this team, it's coming in with an experienced quarterback, experienced running backs, a solid front 7 up front on the defensive side of the football. Louisiana thinks it's going to win this football game. It's only a 10, 11-point underdog. Vegas has a lot of respect for this team. Iowa State needs to step on their throat early. I'm serious. This is the number one. You can't go out there and turn the football over in your first drive. You don't want to get down early and give this team life without Trice Stadium in its full capacity behind you. That's the key to this football game to me. Get out there. Get pumped up early. You got to create your own energy. We've seen this in the NBA bubble. How do you create your own energy? And that's momentum, baby. Momentum is bigger in college football than it is in any other sport, sans maybe college basketball. I want to see the Cyclones get off to a great start early. And if it is, maybe you suck the life out of these Ragin' Cajuns football players and you can roll like you did against Monroe last year. I don't think it'll be that lopsided today. I think this is a much better football team than what Iowa State saw in its third non-conference game a year ago. However, that's how important I think momentum's going to be today, not just for the Cyclones, but I think a lot of these teams playing early on without crowds after the weird non-conference or after the weird off season. So there you go. That's my 5 things that I'm really got my eyes peeled for today. I hope you guys loving the new format. We're going to be doing this all season long. The game day show with yours truly. We're going to have the halftime show. Fairway, Centurion Stone, and Nebraska Furniture Mart stepped up to the plate to sponsor that. And then the Carl Chevrolet post-game show. It's on the Cyclone Fanatic Twitter. It's on the Cyclone Fanatic Facebook, the Cyclone Fanatic YouTube, and of course, on CycloneFanatic.com. Appreciate all of you guys for sticking with us through this whole pandemic deal. We're going to continue to grind and cover the Cyclones as in-depth as anybody else out there. Thanks to Matt Van Winkle for producing today's program and our friends at the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Men's Center. Don't forget, go and get those flu shots here in the next couple of weeks. It's more important than ever. I'm Chris Williams, and I will see you guys at halftime. I would encourage you at 8 o'clock to flip on 106.3 FM and 1460 KXNO for the Iowa Pork-powered Cyclone Fanatic Tailgate Show. Jared Stansbury and Jeff Woody will have a complete preview for today's game as we lead into the Cyclone Radio Network's coverage, which will begin at 9 o'clock on 100.3 The Bus. Have a great Saturday, guys. Stay dry out there. Hopefully we can get this thing in without any delays. Go Cyclones.